Hey everybody, I'm gonna just do a quick video. There's been a lot of fallout over Dave Chappelle's show still being on air. The what is it? The lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgender, whatever. They upset because Netflix didn't ban them. Here's the deal. I got a few points on that. You cannot ban people just because they offer opposition to what you say. Can you imagine what the media, what society, what the world would look like if the LGBTQ was able to put out stuff uncontested? If people received information from these organizations and never heard anything to contradict or to oppose what they have to say, if all information that you got from them came straight from them, wasn't vetted by nobody else but them, this whole world would be gay. We've got to stop that. Not, I've said, Netflix should not be left the hook because they did not cancel Dave Chappelle's show. We, as black people, should demand Netflix. You don't threaten to remove nobody, especially people of color, from your network just because they offer opposition to somebody else. This is sickening. And then you have these gays, they on here talking about how we need to put together the civil rights movement and the gay struggle because they were there with us, back in the 60s and all this other stuff. My problem with that is that would be fine if we stuck together, but we don't. As soon as legislation is passed that target the LGBTQ or gay movement, gay nation, whatever name they want to go up under, they forget all about black people then. When Joe Biden came out and within 15 minutes of him being inaugurated as president of the United States, he come out and give gays a gay month. Did they mention the black struggle? Did they mention anything about the civil rights movement? It was all about them and then what else they can get. They wasn't just satisfied with that. They wanted more. You had the sissy on MSNBC, Jonathan Capehart, talking about how many gay people are in Congress. Pete Buttigieg. Talking about we don't want just a seat at the table. We want representation over every aspect of our lives. They want decisions to be based on that's going to affect the gay community to be decided by people from the gay community. This is not a tactical strategy that they employ with anybody else. All the time you claim you've been with black people, struggling right along with them, hurting right along with them. You ain't never said, well, hey, why don't y'all get your own table? Why don't we have black issues solved by black people? You don't say none of that. But the second you start getting people up in office, now you want all decisions based on the gay community to be determined by people from the gay community. It's embarrassing, and it's like you're being like you're at the Oscars, and they announce the winner, and the LGBTQ they get the award. They'll stand up, oh, and it just starts sliding down the aisle, and the Black Civil Rights group that was with you from the beginning let you tell it. Y'all work together, you struggle together. Your plight, our plight was all one and the same. Soon as they announce that you won, that you get this, it's ooh, ooh, and you scooting right past them, go right up to the podium, take your gift, give your speech, and don't mention the person that brought you there. See, this BS has got to stop. And then we come back, and then soon as black people decide to do something and it conflicts with what the LGBTQ want, now you want to take Dave Chappelle's show off the air. Now you want to recant how you were with us all along, doing this and doing that. Your pain was our pain. But your tactics and strategy to get what you want differ from the rest. You don't share this philosophy with the rest of the civil rights movement. You have your own specific agenda. This is why I say you got to sever ourselves from these people, because they will drop us at a hat. They will take the food right off your table. They will take the food right out your mouth if they could, to stop you from opposing any of their agenda. Just like, well, first of all, the thing is this. In order for them to get their movement accelerated like it has been over the recent years, they had to remove from the medical library or medical book or journal, whatever they call it, that homosexuality was a mental defect. Because you cannot go to court saying you want to marry. You cannot go to court saying you want to adopt. You cannot go to court saying we want equal rights as this. And in the journal book of medicine, it says homosexuality is a mental defect, which means you're insane. And to me, you've got to be insane to let some Mandingo warrior slam his whacker up your backside. You got to be insane. To go to court to justify the legalized homosexuality, to go to court to justify legalized gay marriage, to sit up there and say you want this of your own free will, you've got to be insane. I don't see how women do it. And here you got these Negroes. Don't get me distracted. You remove this from the Journal Book of Medicine so that you can now make the legal case for your agenda. But yet, you have not removed the fact that blacks are considered slaves from the Constitution. You have not mentioned the fact that no descendants of slaves should ever receive the rights and benefits of everybody else. Well, as white people, because white people didn't consider nobody else but them when they forged this Constitution. You didn't fight to remove that. You didn't fight to remove that slaves just coming out of their enslavement can be punished by involuntary servitude, which is just another word for slavery, if they break any law. Well, if they break a law, let me be specific. You break a law, which is any law, and you got enslavers throwing the enslaved right back up under the same persecution they just came out of. The LGBTQ did not change that. They didn't remove that from the Constitution, but you remove everything else that affect your agenda. This is why I say these people cannot be satisfied. They cannot be satisfied, and they cannot have a broad perspective to cover black people. Their agenda is for gay people. They sever themselves from their melanin. They sever themselves from their race, their heritage, their precepts and norms, and it's all about being gay. They'll take anybody that's gay. We can't be attached to these people. We can't. Because see, me, my badge, my membership, my team is my melanin. If you black, you on my team. Now what happens, or what you want to be a part of after beyond that, now your membership can be questioned. Because if it's not about being black first, putting black people first, building businesses and industries to safeguard and protect our way of life, if that's not your primary goal, your primary mission, then whether you black, brown, tan, whatever, you ain't ready for citizenship. It's just as simple as that. But these MFs will adopt anybody in their organization as long as they're gay. And we can't be associated with that. It's clear. It should have been clear. We have got to have our own way of life. We have got to have our own businesses and industry. We've got to have our own governing body. When you have government sitting up here passing laws for rich, poor, middle class, black, white, Latino, gay, straight, lesbian, queer, transgender, aborigine. When you have one race of people passing all these, how the heck do you hold these people accountable? It's too diverse. It's too vast. They can't possibly do this. This is why we got to have specific governing body over specific people, specific legislation for specific people. Don't get me started. Oh. It's sad when I see how bad the world is, and these Negroes just sit back and you continue letting these people come up with decision after decision when none of the decisions they made prior to the has worked. You know, like I say, this LGBTQ, and one of the initial reasons why I did this video is because you got people that supporting the LGBTQ that don't even know what the Q stand for. Which is, I'm not using that as no disrespectful term. But the LGBTQ stands for questionable. How I know that, I have a friend that works as a nurse, and the lesbian, gay, transgender, LGBT, Q, it's queer. It's not queer. It's questionable because they teach them in the workforce. They have policies and procedures for the gays, and when somebody walk through the door, you don't know whether they're gay or not, so you view them as questionable, so you don't offend them. How vastly different is that from what black agenda is? Here you got a Negro coming through the door that you can't question that he's black. And he gets the worst treatment ever. It's unquestionable that this guy is black, this woman is black. And they'll be treated the worst in the store. But you got the LGBTQ putting out mandates that anybody that walks through the door, no matter what they look like, they may be gay, so treat them a specific kind of way. Like I said, LGBTQ, they cannot be satisfied. And they're not going to be satisfied till they have everything. And it's about time that we get to the point that we cannot be satisfied with what we've gotten up to this point, and sever ourselves and get our act together and get our stuff together and set our own course and path through life. We cannot continue doing this. So I'm going to end this video here. And if you like this message, please share it. And if you like this content, consider subscribing to this channel. With this video, as with all my videos, it is for the complete liberation of my people. And I see you in my next message. Ashe.